welcome to another episode of Game Overcast. I am your host, David Kaelin, the Game Over CEO, and thank you for joining us again for another exciting episode. This week, it's going to be a big show. We're going to talk about the end of an era at Game Over Video Games. We're going to have a special show and tell segment with me and my good friend and collaborator, Dan Caparello. We're going to have retro news. We're going to have, lots of cool stuff. So stay tuned. Let's go right ahead into the show now, and we'll do level 1 and talk about current events. And we're back with level 1, current events. So what's going on in the world of gaming these days? So I got a couple of big stories to talk about. We mentioned this earlier on the show, PlayStation Plus. The details are out. It's supposed to launch in June. There's going to be 3 different tiers of their online service. They're going to have the Essential, which is kind of like what they have now, where you get 2 free games a month and online play. But they're also adding an extra tier, which also adds 400 PS4 and 5 games on there. So recent games. It's not like day of release like Xbox is doing, but pretty current games on there. But 400 of them, so that's not small. And then they'll have the premium top package, which is going to add on the top of that 400 an extra 340 games that are from the PS3, PS2, PS1, PSP, other stuff, older PlayStation titles. So basically, the basic's going to be $59 a year, the extra is going to be $99 a year, and the premium is going to be $119 per year. And then they have monthly packages too that you can get, but that's the general price tiering. So pretty similar to Xbox. I think they have a lot more games over a lot longer time period on the high end, but you still don't get day and date release as you do on Xbox. So that seems to be the main difference. Yeah, sorry, Dan. But it's cool. I mean, it's everybody's beefing up that online presence. They're getting to the point. They're not quite there yet, but they're getting to the point where the consoles and gaming, it's all digital, and you just basically buy a box, or sometimes don't even have to buy the box, and then you just pay per month like Netflix. I mean, that's where everything is going. Movies, TV shows, and gaming. And it sucks for us retro gamers and people that like to collect stuff. Because the biggest thing you lose in going digital is the stuff. You don't have stuff. You don't own stuff. You can't resell stuff. You can't put stuff on a cool shelf in your cool, game room or whatever. No stuff. I like stuff. Give me stuff, please. Okay. But anyway, so that's coming in June. So stay tuned for that in the next couple of months. Another movie news, we've got Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Coming up. We've talked about movies a lot lately. There's a lot of video game movies coming out. We mentioned this a few weeks ago on the show too, that the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, it's coming out April 8th, which may be right about the time you're watching this show. But that's going to be the big new movie in theaters. It's got a Sonic, it's got Tails, it's got Knuckles. Dr. Robotnik is back. Something about a search for the Master Emerald. I think the biggest thing, the coolest thing, is that Idris Elba is going to be Knuckles, and so that'll be really cool. And on top of that, so if you're not excited enough about that movie and Sonic in general, and who's not, because everybody loves Sonic, but they've already, the first movie was successful, so they got the second one, of course. But even before the second one's come out, I've read that they've got Sonic 3 already in development, so they've already got the third one, going. Plus, they're going to do a Knuckles spin-off series on Paramount Plus. So basically, they're creating a Sonic cinematic universe. So just like Marvel and DC and everybody, Universal, it's you don't have anything unless you have like sequel potential and a separate universe potential. So yeah, there's going to be a whole series of movies and shows and merch, for sale and everything related to all the characters in the Sonic universe. So yeah, so get ready to see a lot more Sonic, in future years. In more retro gaming specific news, there was a large, we showed last week the video game store called Game Lover in Ukraine that was bombed out. There's a picture I put up on my personal, like the Game Over CEO social media pages. It looks like Game Over on the sign, but there's like a little L in the middle that looks like a Tetris piece. So technically the store is called Game Lover, but it looked like Game Over. And somebody sent it to me saying, "Oh my God, like Game Over got bombed." and I was like, "No, that wasn't us. That was somebody else." But also in Ukraine, because of all this stuff going on, everything over there is getting bombed and destroyed right now. Also, somebody had apparently a large video game and computer museum set up. It was a private, personally owned by somebody, but they had it open and people could come and see this big collection in Mariupol. And it's one of the cities that's been bombed recently. And so over 500 items from the 1950s to the 2000s and the owner's home, because I guess it was all the same building or something, all destroyed. So another case of, Russians destroying video game history. Damn you. So very sad. I mean, everything over there is so sad. I mean, we literally could do hours of just talking about the situation and the politics of like Russia and Ukraine. But I'm not going to do that. We got to keep video game focused. And then in other news, which is kind of retro, kind of current, gaming news, apparently there's a new movie coming out on Netflix soon called Choose or Die. And I had never heard about this. I don't know if any of you know anything about this, but it's some kind of like an indie movie. It's coming to Netflix April 15th, so like right around now, like in a few weeks from now. So look for that. It's got Asa Butterfield, the kid from Ender's Game. He's more grown up now. And Robert Englund, like Mr. Freddy Krueger, is in there. So I don't know, but it's one of those like weird horror movies where it focuses on a retro video game, and somebody starts playing the game for the first time in like in decades or whatever, and as they do stuff in the game, things start happening in real life. So the actions on the game, parallel and start happening in person to them and their friends. It's really bizarre. I mean, there's a trailer on YouTube, so you can check that out. It's Choose or Die Netflix movie. So you could probably look it up that way on YouTube. But yeah, I don't know much other than the trailer and the info that I just read you on who's in it. But it looks pretty weird and kind of cool. It's going to be one of those just odd type horror movies. So if you're into that kind of weird horror genre that has a retro video game twist, that may be something to check out on Netflix. So that's it in the retro news. And that takes us to the end. So we are now ready for level 2. So let's go to company info and talk about what's going on at your local Game Over video game store. And we're back with level 2, the company events. So what's going on at your local Game Over video game store? So right now we've got sales going on. We have sales every week. So the sale going on right now, April 1st through 7th. So probably the time you're watching this show, the 1st through 7th, is going to be a retro controllers and cables sale. So not very exciting, but like everybody needs controllers and cables for their systems. So it's 20% off all new and used retro controllers and cables. So that's basically, the controllers, the power cords, AV cables, HDMI cables, stuff like that. Anything from Xbox 360, PS3, and Wii, all the way back to the retro stuff. So what it does not apply to is anything more recent like PS4s and 5s, Xbox Ones and S's and X's, and Nintendo Switches. So that stuff and accessories don't apply. But anything older than that, the retro controllers and cables, 20% off. Can you do it online? Yes. GameOverVideogames.com. You can use online code CONTROL20, CONTROL20, and that'll give you the 20% off. So that's April 1st through 7th. After that, April 8th through 14th, we have original Xbox games, original used Xbox games on sale, and the accessories for 20% off. So anything for the original Xbox, the first like OG, big Xbox, the used games and accessories that includes controllers and cables and all that stuff, 20% off of those, and you can do that online with code XBOX20, XBOX20, XBOX20. So those are like the next two sales going on. And then also, stores have trade-in bounties, so definitely check those out. Right now, we're wrapping up the March special, and I actually didn't write down the April bounty, but I'll tell you next week, I guess. But yeah, so trade-in bounties still going on too. We have those every month, so check your store, the local, the board in the front of your local store to see what that is. And other events, we do super retro challenges, like free in-store retro gaming tournaments every month. It's always the second Saturday of the month. And so for April, that's going to be Saturday, April the 9th. And that will be, that's going to be at our 5 main tournament stores, which is Bellevue, Washington, San Antonio, the Selma location, Arlington, Texas location, South Austin on South Lamar, and the Houston location up north on 1960. So those stores will all be doing tournaments on April the 9th. So definitely check those out. You can look at those store Facebook pages to find out which game it is, what the rules are, when you have to get there and sign up and stuff. But it's totally free to play. If you win, you get prizes, and if you lose, you still have fun and make friends, and so you should come anyway. So come check that out. In Classic Game Fest news, the biggest retro gaming event in Texas continues to build steam. It's going to be really big this year, guys. 15th anniversary. We've got over 90 vendors, artists, guests, and bands already lined up, and still adding every week more to that list. Tickets are on sale now at classicgamefest.com. They are discounted from what it'll be at the door, so you definitely want to buy tickets early. And we'll have them on sale in Game Over Video Game stores soon. We're supposed to get our stock of wristbands sometime in April. So we'll be having those in the Game Over stores soon too, which will also be discounted from the door prices. So please buy them online or at a Game Over store, sometime before CGF, because you don't want to be that person that buys it at the door and pays full price, do you? Those people are dumb. Don't do that. So buy your tickets early. Vendor booths are still on sale now. I mean, just because we're over 90, we still have more. We normally do, 120 to 140, depending on how many tables each vendor takes up. But yeah, there's still some available. So definitely reach out for that if you're interested in selling some stuff. You don't have to be a big store or chain like GameStop or Game Over or anything like that. Just anybody, just you sitting there at home and you want to sell some games at Classic Game Fest, you can do that. So just check out classicgamefest.com/vendors, and it gives you the booth sizes, prices, all the rules and stuff like that. But yeah, we can have vendors big and small, artists, anybody related to video games. If you have a charitable cause or any kind of video game related, thing you want to promote, event, another convention, tournament, or anything that you're doing that's video game related, reach out and we can talk about having a booth at Classic Game Fest. So that is it for that. Also, new products are on the way. I just wanted to let everybody know I don't have anything to show today. Sorry. But now that it's a new year, things are finally getting shipped, from overseas and through LA and the ports and everything. They're starting to flow to the stores finally. So we are getting some cool new stuff in the Game Over stores right now. So I'm going to try and bring some of that on the show in the next couple of weeks and show you specifically some of the different things. But just to give you kind of a general overview of what's on the way, we're getting new puzzles. We're getting special video game themed energy drinks and candies. We're getting posters, and we're getting some special Neo Geo stuff. So definitely stay tuned for that. And I will bring show and tell stuff for that onto the show. Let's see, web highlights. So have you ever bought anything online? I bet you have. Have you bought it from GameOverVideogames.com? Never. Oh, Dan says never. Never. See, Dan, there's this thing called the internet. And stores like us have websites. I use that to catch fish. No, not that kind of net. Under my boat. No, not a net for your boat. An internet. It goes inside you, inside your head. Well, actually, no, it doesn't. Sorry. What are you using? You're distracting me. Stop it. But you go on this internet thing, and you type in your W's and your W's, and then you put in GameOverVideogames.com, and you can see cool retro games, and you can buy those things, and you click on the ones you want, and you put it in your little basket, and you type in your credit card info, and then boom, we send it to your house. Easy peasy. So it's like a Game Over store in your own living room. Isn't that nice? But if you weren't aware, we do have a website. We also now have someone dedicated to entering new inventory into that website. So over the past month or so, we have literally put thousands more items into our online store. So if you have never been to our website or haven't been in a long time, I definitely recommend you check it out. You might be surprised at some of the cool stuff in there. There's some things you won't even find at a local Game Over Video Game store. Ooh. Yeah. So GameOverVideogames.com, check it out. On our social media, we're going to start posting some pictures of some of the cool stuff that we're adding there. We do that from time to time, but we haven't done a lot of it lately, so we're going to start adding more pictures, so you'll get to see it in real time, ooh, this cool stuff going into the web store. So check out Game Over Video Games pages for that. And again, you can buy it online, have it shipped to your house. It's a flat $10 for shipping, and no matter how big or small the order is. So if it's one game, yeah, $10 is a little high, but it doesn't go up when you buy more stuff. So if you get a machine, a couple of games, T-shirt, whatever, we put it all in a box. It might cost us $20 to ship, but you're only paying 10. So it's just a flat price, $10. Ship it to your house. If you don't want to pay shipping, you can pick it up at a local Game Over store. So we'll ship it from our warehouse to your local store totally for free, and then that store just calls you when they get it in stock. It normally, takes like 3 to 5 days to get it to your local store. But yeah, then you get it for free, or free delivery. You still got to pay for this stuff. So anyway, check out GameOverVideogames.com. So that is an official commercial for GameOverVideogames.com. So check it out. So now we're going to go on to level 3, the feature section of the show. And this week's going to be very exciting because my good friend Dan Caparello is going to join me up here, and we're going to do another episode of Show and Tell from our retro gaming collections. So stay tuned for that coming up now. Okay, and we're back with level 3, the feature section of the show. And this week, I'm joined by my good friend, Dan Caparello, and we're going to do another episode of Show and Tell.
I'm back.
He's back. So,
I'm back, baby.
I brought stuff from my house, my office, collection of stuff. Mm-hmm. And Dan's brought stuff from his house.
I brought a box.
In a very cool, fancy container.
This is where I keep all my special things.
Yes, he keeps all his special things in a plain brown box. He's very nice like that. Organized like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Man.
So,
wait, let me move this real quick.
Oh yeah.
Forgot to do that because you needed to hear me too.
That's all right. You're pretty loud.
Oh. I'll stay loud.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. So, how do you want to do this?
Who
You
wants
want
to
go
first? Yeah.
You want to do paper, rock, scissors?
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Okay. Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. God. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. What? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
What?
You go first.
Okay. All right.
Rock beats.
Right. I was like, wait. Okay. Yeah. It's been a while. Okay. So show and tell. So I didn't put a whole lot of time into planning this, but I will say that what I thought I'd do is I went through my office with a theme in mind. So I tried to find everything that was like food and drink related.
Oh, cool.
So my overall presentation today of my show and tell is all going to be like things for eating and drinking. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's see. So first, what should I show? Okay. So first I'm going to show this. Whoops. So I have a coffee cup.
Very normal looking.
It's very plain. It's just a little metal cylinder with a nice little leather sleeve. It's actually pretty nice.
Is this real leather?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm gonna say no. The inside.
It's made in China. You know it's real.
No, this is 100% not real leather.
All right.
Hey, you used to use it because I see coffee stains.
No, I didn't use it. That's actually the thing with this. This is, I guess, just stained from something else. I don't know. Something maybe. No, not.
Why are there coffee stains? Or is this glue?
It might be glue. That's
maybe
probably
it's
what it is.
glue and
it's old age or something. But I got this. So here, let me.
Sorry.
Who's going first again?
I have questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So. All right. So this is a plain coffee cup. Just a metal like stainless steel coffee cup. Has a little sleeve on it, which looks like leather. It may not, in fact, be leather, but it looks like leather. I thought it was leather until my heart was broken just now.
Made in China.
But made in China. But this is new. This is not retro. But it says in the indentation here, which you probably can't read on the camera, but I'll tell the podcast listeners here. It says Nintendo World, New York. Mm-hmm. So this was from my first trip to New York. And if you ever go to New York City...
What year?
I don't know. It was... No, I tell you. It was... my daughter had just been born. So she was probably a year... I'm trying to think how old she was. So she was probably about a year old, and she's 17 now. So this is 16 years. This is probably 2005.
Oh, dang.
2004, 2005.
Wow.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's the year I moved to Austin.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was like my first trip to New York. It was a big deal. And in New York City, like downtown, not too far from like Rockefeller Center and all the, Times Square, all the cool stuff, there's a big Nintendo World store.
It's still there.
And it's still there. And so, if you're a gamer like us and, you love cool gaming gear, I mean, it's a really neat place to go. They have demos to play. They have big characters, that you can like stand by and do selfies and pictures with.
If you remember from last week.
And you can buy a lot of cool merch.
Where I got my wallet.
Oh, you got it from Nintendo
Yep.
World? Yeah. Okay. Cool. But yeah, so this was my souvenir that I got from there, and I actually also got a T-shirt. But this is interesting because I don't drink coffee. But I got this because I thought it was a really cool like.
It
cup.
is cool.
And so yeah, but I've never used it. I've never like drank anything out of it. That's why when you said coffee stains, I was like, no, because I've never even.
Glue stains.
I literally bought it to put it on my shelf. Something
Yeah.
that said Nintendo World on it.
Stop drinking glue out of it.
Well, if my life would quit being so damn stressful, I would stop drinking glue. You know the old airplane movies where every line he's like, "Man, I picked a hell of a day to quit, smoking glue, or quit smoking or quit drinking," and then it was like, "Quit smelling glue," and yeah, I love those movies.
They're good.
All right,
They're good movies.
So anyway, so this is my number one. It's basic in its nature, but it's cool because it's to celebrate my first trip to New York City and going to Nintendo World, which I was really impressed with.
Yeah, they're cool.
It is a really cool thing. And now every company has their big like flagship store, and where they have like a huge like Lego store and Nintendo store, and where they have all the merch and all the cool like graphics and selfie spots and stuff like that. But this was, 16, 17 years ago, and so it was still cool to go into a store that was all Nintendo. It's just everywhere,
man.
all Nintendo. So anyway, that was very cool. So that's my number one.
When
So
I
I'll put
went
that
to the
back over
Nintendo
here.
store for the first time, it wasn't the Nintendo World store.
Actually, I'll leave it right here.
It was Poke Center, New York, and it
Oh,
also
yeah.
had some Nintendo stuff.
Uh-huh.
But you could pre-order games there.
Yeah.
So I pre-ordered, and they were doing a thing where if you pre-order,
Try and turn my chair.
if you pre-order Twilight Princess for the GameCube at that time, you got a T-shirt. So I put my $5 down and got my T-shirt, and then never went back to get the game.
Well, hey, that's
But
a cheap
I
T-shirt.
still have the T-shirt. Maybe I'll bring it in for the
Nice.
next show and tell. Okay,
Well, that's cool.
so my box of
Yeah.
stuff.
All right,
We're
show
gonna
me.
start with.
Oh, I see good stuff in there.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in here.
Okay.
We're gonna start with
should-
one of my favorite sets of figures that I had growing up. We've got the old
my gosh.
6-inch Earthworm Jim, who does this.
Holy shit. That is cool.
His head pops off, and there's a whole series of these.
Yeah.
And there's Jim and Psychro and Princess, what's her face, and then they each come with a little guy. And I didn't bring the guy, but he comes with a little snot. And then you'll get the big Peter Puppy, like monster version Peter Puppy that comes with a little normal version Peter Puppy. And then Psychro comes with Mucus, and there's a whole bunch of them. There's a big cat minion guy who comes with a little Bob the fish. So if you know anything about Earthworm Jim, you know what I'm talking about. But that whole series of characters is just so cool to me. I had almost the whole set when I was a kid, and so this set I got from an eBay lot because they're not super rare, hard to find, but I didn't want to buy them complete in box. I wanted to buy figures out of the box to display, and so I got a lot of 10 figures or something for $80, which I thought was a really good deal. So because they're going for about Jim is 40 by himself. Just the Jim, but the secondary characters are less and less and less. So I thought that was a good deal. So yeah, so there's my little Earthworm Jim guy. See if is he in the frame there.
Yeah.
Just sharing my love of Earthworm Jim and his art and who he is and all that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. On my side, what else can I show? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Dan thought this was a cookie jar.
You could put cookies in that.
You could.
Oreos.
Yeah, Oreos. It's kind of small for that, but
How
it's
big
like
are
a
your
little
cookies?
candy dish that's Mario.
Candy
This is
dish.
actually Mario 2 theme. What?
Candy dish. Oh, it is Mario 2.
Yeah. It's not Mario. It's Super Mario 2. So when that came out, I don't know if you can. Here, see
They're good
that.
enough.
It's really cool, the designs on it and everything, and it's in really good condition. Other than the fact that this little plastic, like the freshness seal or whatever that you would put on there to make it have a really
It's disintegrated.
to keep your cookies or candies or whatever fresh. It kind of like I guess heat over the years, it warped and cracked and stuff, so it's a little cracked right there. But other than that, like normally when you find an old like original glass like with these etched things, like the kind that you would get like at a store or maybe even as like a Happy Meal thing or something, where it has glass and then a picture on it, it's almost always faded because people would like wash it in their dishwasher and the pictures would all fade off. But this one's in really good shape on the actual glass.
They ate out of it and they never washed it one time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody used this back in the day.
Probably not.
Or they never washed it, or maybe they washed it by hand. That's what my mom would have done. Like, she would wash like delicate things from hand.
Was it traded in?
No, this was actually a lot of these that I'm showing today that I got from my wife for like birthdays and Christmas, and I don't remember which birthday or whatever.
Like found it at a garage sale. Or
she would sometimes find this stuff like online or around town at a garage sale or something. She's a big thrifter and. Would find sometimes stuff like this. So
that's great.
So I don't remember the years, but I can tell you that my wife got almost everything here except the Nintendo World cup I just showed you. But yeah, so that is here. I'll put it over here on this side. But that is something really cool
on the desk.
Yeah. So I just like that container a lot.
That's a great.
So it was a really cool thing. Yeah.
Now
I think it was meant for like jelly beans or M&Ms or something like that. It's meant for little candies because the hole in the top's kind of small. So Dan said cookies, and I was like, I don't know if cookies would really fit in there. But
well, it looks like.
Oh, look, another piece of red just fell off.
You might just want to.
It's so brittle. It's like it's just
80s plastic.
Yeah, that's the only part that's bad. Is I need to find a way to just take that off, and then it's just glass on glass, and it'll be perfect. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so
what do you got?
So this is a thrift store find.
Okay.
This is the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles VHS series. This is when Raphael falls in love with a female mutant turtle.
There was no female mutant turtle.
Look, there she is.
Where did she come from? I don't remember that.
Well, okay, let's read the back.
Tell me the story of how this came to be.
When Raphael wins an invitation to a swanky costume party on a bazillionaire's hold on, mega
bazillionaire.
Yacht,
how much money is that more than $1 billion?
He attends dressed as, what else? A Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, which is good because he quickly finds himself crossing swords with the notorious and high-tech pirate Captain Filch. Sorry, that's a weird word to say.
Yeah.
Assisted by a totally excellent mutant lizard girl named Mona Lisa. Because they're all painters, so famous, she had to be Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Soon, all four turtles swing into the swashbuckling fun as they tangle with the fearsome Filch and his sea monster mates. Also, Raphael knocks him dead. Now, I think, spoiler alert, I think she ends up just being a normal person in a costume.
Oh, okay.
And then, like, his heart's broken because he's like, no, I'm a real turtle. And she's like, what the heck?
I took mine off, now you take yours off.
So, this is
he's like, no, you don't understand.
I thought that was a pretty interesting find for a thrift store find. Anytime I see Ninja Turtle random stuff from the 90s, I pick it up because I don't like the new stuff as much, but 90s stuff all day.
That's cool.
Yeah. So.
Well, now, so her name, the female's name was Mona Lisa. Mm-hmm. And the Mona Lisa was made by, wasn't it Leonardo? Who?
Do you want me to hold that thought?
Okay.
Who painted the Mona Lisa? It's literally the first thing Google. Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, Leonardo. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
But Raphael's the one who falls in love.
So like
they didn't
like
match
she
it up.
is the creation of Leonardo, but in the show there was no mention of like he created her because she's just a person.
This is Raphael.
No, I know, but I mean but see, I'm looking at the back. So like Leonardo's the one that created the Mona Lisa, but then
I mean, I see what you're saying.
I don't know,
but I think that they're just trying to be.
They just look for some random female name. From
it doesn't
an
go
old
that
painting.
deep.
Okay, fine. So very cool. All right, awesome. Okay, well here I'll put mine over here, so we'll have like my little wall and your little wall. Okay, so number 3 for me.
Is yours in frame? Yes, it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Keep going.
Yeah, they're in frame as long as it's from here on over. Okay. So I will do more little stuff. Okay, so this is another little candy dish, also for my wife. So shout out to my wife.
The gumball machine.
This is a literal gumball machine. It's a Pac-Man gumball machine, and it has this little slide. You know, you put your gumballs in there. I think this unscrews. Again, it actually goes in from the bottom. But again, like I've never used it to put stuff in. But this is an original, something from back in the probably early 80s.
If I get a quarter, should we try it out?
No.
No?
No. Is there a date on there? Chicago Superior Toy and Manufacturing Company, Inc. So I don't know, but it's a little gumball machine, Pac-Man shape. Inside, it's got a little dial that you slide this thing around, and it puts one little gumball comes out the hole there. So
that's neat.
It's pretty cool.
I like it.
I mean, it's very small, and it's not super clean on the inside because somebody did have candy in here at one point.
I had something like that.
So
when
I've cleaned
I was
it from the
kid.
outside, but I haven't been able to clean it from the inside. But
I had something like that when I was a
cool.
kid, and when I got it, like my parents filled it with candy, and then it was gone in one day. All the candy, so they were like, never again.
Yeah, I mean, this is not much. I mean, that's not much space, but that's like one bag of M&Ms or something in there. Yeah. And like, I mean, we could totally demolish a bag of M&Ms.
Easy.
In like just this podcast.
They were not happy with me.
All right, so that's my number 3. So what do you got number 3?
Let's see, number 3.
Did you bring 5, by the way? Because I
did
think
bring
I have 5.
5.
Okay, so we got 5 and 5. Okay.
Okay, well, I have another figure in honor of the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie coming out.
Yeah, it's all Sonic for the next month or so. It's gonna be all Sonic merch.
A massive Knuckles figure from the Sonic Adventure style series.
Yeah.
2000 and this is from 2000. Yeah. This one's a little warped. This was just an eBay find because I used to have, when I was a kid, I used to have the whole series of these. Had Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and Robotnik, I think. But anyway, these are like 9 inches, maybe almost a foot tall. And, I'm still on the hunt for a Sonic, but they're a little expensive. And I got this one for cheap because his legs are all warped. But, he stands okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Was there a thing on the foot?
Well,
there's like a battery?
There were 2.
Yeah, there's a battery. What does he do?
There were 2 styles of this, and one of them talked and one of them didn't. And this one does not talk. But they use the same mold.
Oh.
So it
has a little battery compartment that does nothing?
And a place for a speaker, but the button doesn't press and you can't do anything with it. So.
Oh, that's dumb.
It is dumb.
I mean, that's
life.
Odd.
That's life. So Knuckles.
Yeah.
The echidna.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is an echidna?
It's a rodent.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Like a rat?
You want to look at a picture of it?
Yeah. Do you maybe when you do the show you can put a picture of an echidna? Like I know what Knuckles looks like.
There he is.
Let's see.
He's like a spiky.
Okay.
Nose pointy dude.
So not that different than a hedgehog,
not
really.
It's spikier than a hedgehog. Hedgehog's more soft.
But when you look at him in the Sonic universe, he seems less spiky than Sonic.
They have more claws. See, they have the claws that they dig holes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're cute, though, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Go Knuckles.
All right. I wish I had a timestamp for that echidna pick, but I'll just deal with it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So number 4. Let's do another small one here. In the Pac-Man world, this is an original Pac-Man like promotional cup.
It's lenticular.
Yeah, it's got. Let's see. The date on here is 1980. So it's the kind where like you won't be able to see this on the camera probably, but if you like angle it, it looks like there's motion because it has like multiple images. So if you adjust the light, it looks like Pac-Man's moving like. But yeah, so you got like the Pac-Man logo, you got a Pac-Man board.
That's really cool.
Another Pac-Man board. So yeah, but this is like
how old is that?
I mean, I just said it's 1980.
80?
Yeah, right here.
Really? It looks really. It's in really good condition for 1980.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's still like white on the inside, so like I don't think anybody had coffee in it.
Nobody.
A kid may have used it, but only for like milk or water.
Yeah. Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Tab. or
Tang. When I was a kid, I would drink Tang. Do you remember Tang?
Oh yeah, I remember Tang.
Because we all wanted to be like the the shuttle astronauts and stuff, and they started talking about Tang, and you could make your own like Kool-Aid, basically.
Turns out they
drink.
don't drink Tang. That was just a marketing campaign.
Yeah.
It worked really well too. I like this. The optical illusion part of it is cool.
Yeah, it's a really neat like piece, and you know I love the Pac-Man stuff too.
Yeah.
You know, just I mean you know, normally a lot of retro video game stuff is centered around Nintendo and centered around Mario. You know, but like I like, you know, Pac-Man and some of the 70s stuff too.
I would say Pac-Man's up there in the like well-selling, well-known video game merch.
I mean, it's definitely iconic. It's one of the top.
It's like Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, probably.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but anyway, so that's another piece. You know, everything again, like I brought is like all like food related, so they're all like cups and containers for food and stuff like that. I should have done a
theme. I'll do a theme next time.
Okay. All right, you do a theme. I'll do another theme because I've got another one in mind. Looking at my shelves back there, I have another theme in mind for next time. Yeah. So.
All right, what else is in the box?
Tuned.
Oh, another Sonic themed thing. So, everybody knows Nintendo Power, right?
Yes.
Everybody had a Nintendo Power subscription.
Yeah.
PSN.
Actually,
magazine.
I never had a Nintendo Power subscription.
Well, was kind of.
My parents were
late
poor
for you.
But no, it was out there. But really? I didn't get any magazine subscriptions.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. When I was real little, my parents had a subscription for the house for like me and my brother and my sister. Like the three of us would share a Kaelin family subscription to Highlights. Remember Highlights for children?
My kids get Highlights still.
They still make that like the print.
Oh yeah.
Print paper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yep.
But we would get that and had like, you know, little like puzzles and little word you know, challenges and stuff in there and little stories to read and yeah. But other than that, I don't think I ever got any other magazines. And I knew of Nintendo Power and stuff, but I never had a Nintendo Power subscription.
Well, so for a few years, Sega had their version of Nintendo
Sega
Power.
had Sega
and
Visions.
We called it Sega Visions.
Yeah.
And so I got a lot.
Nice. That's good condition.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of about 6 of these, and they're pretty cool. I mean, there's a lot of advertisements.
Yeah.
You know,
most of those magazines were. I mean, it's. You know, that was the main point of them. Ads and then like cheat codes.
But it's just cool to go back and be like, oh man, like Stimpy's Invention advertisement. Look, they were advertising the Genesis CDX.
Yeah.
To play Sega CD
because those
games.
Sold like blockbusters.
Yeah. So Sonic 3 is the cover of this one. And I have a couple. I have one with Eternal Champions on the cover, and I have one with like sports games on the cover. But it was very much just a ripoff of Toe Jam and Earl.
Yes. Look. Oh, nice.
Pentagon Funkatron.
Look, take off on a funktastic new voyage.
Yeah, man. And yeah, it was
cool.
pretty much they had the same kind of like things like as Nintendo Power. Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the Sega side, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually pretty hard to find, but not like I would say they're less in demand than your average Nintendo Power, so they run about the same. Yeah. Like the average Nintendo Power online, I think you can get for like 10 or 15. So obviously it's better to buy them in like big lots if you want to buy them.
Mm-hmm.
But Sega Visions is really, really fun to look through, just like a Nintendo Power is.
Yeah.
But they don't pop up very often.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
They only made it, what'd you say, for a few years?
Yeah, they made it for, I don't know the year running, but...
Yeah, because I remember them being out, but they didn't make it for long.
This was Sonic 3, which is 94, so I think it was only like 4 or 5 years
just in the 90s.
Made it. Yeah.
Just when like Sega was at their peak.
Because
then after that, it kind of faded out a little bit.
It came out like a little bit after the Genesis launched.
Oh.
What?
They've got like a recruitment thing to come work for Sega.
Sega has the best jobs in the world.
Look at all these people going to program for Sega.
They're having a blast. That guy's holding a giant CD.
I don't remember Nintendo Powers ever having ads for people to come make Nintendo games.
No, they didn't have trouble hiring people.
Yeah. Oh, ouch.
But, and then after that, it kind of just, I don't think I ever saw like a Sega Saturn ad in any of these magazines, so didn't last very long, but...
very cool. And that would be cool in a frame, too. If you wanted to never look at it again, I guess, or rip the cover off.
I have a bunch of magazines that are stacked that I just pull out and read. I like to read them. I don't want to frame them.
Yeah.
They're for reading.
Is that what we do with magazines?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. You got one more?
So I got one more, and it's a big multi-part thing. So first, I'm going off to school. I need my lunchbox, Mom.
Yes.
Give me my PB and J and my my little pack of Doritos and
Doritos.
Yeah.
You were a rich kid if you had Doritos.
No, I mean, this is not my original lunchbox.
We had nacho facos or whatever
Oh,
instead of
they had the like generic ones.
Oh, yeah.
Back then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you were younger than me. But
Yeah.
I don't remember there being generic chips. Like I would have like
Stop and Shop brand.
Oh wow. Well, my parents would get the little like snack packs,
Mm-hmm.
where it was like you'd get nacho cheese Doritos and like Fritos
Mm-hmm.
and like maybe Lay's potato chips or something, but you get like 3 of each or something, and then they'd throw one in our lunches, and we get like a peanut butter and jelly, a thing of chips, and
What was in your juice cup?
I don't remember.
Juice? Water?
Well, see, I don't drink
Milk?
that much stuff. It was probably water or milk because that's pretty much all I would drink as a kid.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, this is not my original as a kid. As a kid, I literally did have, though, for a lunchbox, a Pac-Man lunchbox.
Oh, I believe that.
And and I had the what do you call it, the drink, container. I had the case, and I want to say it was metal, too. It wasn't plastic like this, like it was metal. But yeah, I had Pac-Man sheets. I had bunk beds as a kid. And like in the early '80s, and I had Pac-Man sheets on them, and I remember that. But I don't think we don't have that stuff anymore. I think at one point my parents like used those as like drop cloths painting something, or because like once we weren't using them, all the old sheets went into the garage.
They threw them away,
and then they became like rags, in the house around the house. So. But anyway, but this is another cool thing that I've gotten over the years, and I believe this and several of these other things here came from my wife from like birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that. But it was a cool like Mario lunchbox. This is from, let's see, this is just I guess just original Super Mario Brothers for NES, but it's in really good shape, and it has the thermos. That's the word I was trying to think of earlier. The thermos, but it doesn't have the top, and so when I got it. I think she ordered this online, but then ordered from a separate person just the thermos so that I could have like an actual complete with the top.
That's a good condition.
Thermos, and this is
that one's in.
Well,
better.
this one, there's more color on this one.
That one's more sun faded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I have essentially a complete. I keep this one out since that looks nicer, but I have a complete Mario lunchbox from 1988.
88, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was, old. I wasn't using a lunchbox in 1988, but
trying to see, like, that's no. I guess
these are like generic kind of Mario images. Yeah.
It's not from a game.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is my final piece is the complete Mario lunchbox from the late 80s.
So okay, so my last one. So I'm a GameCube N64 GameCube guy.
I know.
That's my generation.
That's your generation. Yeah.
And so I had to bring another one of my rarities. Last time I think I brought Gotcha Force last time.
Yes.
Which is just like incredibly rare. One of my favorite games.
Crazy rare. Now.
So another one of my favorite games, which is also incredibly rare. That probably nobody listening to this has heard of unless you're a GameCube guy or a PS2 guy. Ribbit King.
Yeah.
Now, Ribbit King is a mini golf, very loose,
like Hot Shots or
very
something.
loose definition of mini golf. Well, here's how you play.
Okay.
There's a frog, and you hit the frog with a hammer, and the frog jumps wherever it wants. And there's very little control over what the frog does, and there's obstacles all over the map. Some teleport you, some make the frog jump a different direction.
Okay.
Sometimes you land like out of bounds randomly, and you have to like start over. Sometimes you land in a cloud, and the cloud carries you around. It's total chaos. There's no skill based in this game.
You don't aim the frog or like
you can aim the
hit
frog.
It in a certain area to make him.
You can
go left or right. Or...
That doesn't mean anything that you predict is going to happen is going to happen. But you can do 4-player golf, and it's so much fun just because it's like you're watching your frog do the thing, and you're like, yes, go there. No. And like everybody's trying to like get more points, and it's super fun.
Huh. Yeah, I've never played that. I have heard of that game. I remember seeing it like in the early days of Game Over when I would work, the counter in the store. Like I know it's come in, and but I've never actually played it, so I never knew what that was about.
It's bananas.
Yeah.
It's based on a Japanese property that I don't like. This is Scooter.
They have a Japanese show called
it's like a show, and there's actually a bonus disc.
It says it's Bandai, so
yeah, there's a bonus disc that has like an episode of the show on it.
Oh,
so you can watch. So that just to give you some context for what the weird crap you're about to experience, because it's very bizarre. Like the characters are just like there's a robot penguin and like a ninja panda and a girl who's always crying and a rock monster, but you're all just playing golf. It's like it's fine, whatever.
Huh.
So this copy. This is like now like probably a $300 GameCube game.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that or even seen a price check. When I've been doing price checks for Game Over, like I don't recall that even coming in the past 3 or 4 years.
It's exceptionally rare now. This copy I got in early 2020, pre-COVID. And I was, I was looking for a copy. Like we played it when I was a kid, and I love it. So I was trying to find a copy. And at that time they were going for about $80, which is still more than I really want to pay for any one.
Yeah, back then $80 GameCube game, you'd be like, oh, that's unusual. Well, and now it's like $80. What a deal!
It depends on what the game is, yeah. But even now, I kind of cringe at that price. I try to find a deal if I can. And I found an online store based in Chicago that said they had one, but there was no pictures of it, and they don't differentiate between, as far as I could tell, this store only sold brand new video games.
Okay.
So it was and I would just check random stores like that because sometimes they have weird inventory they don't know of or whatever, and they were like, one in stock, $40, and I was like, okay.
You think you're going to get disc only in a little envelope.
Here's my mentality. Best case scenario, they're going to send me a sealed copy of Ribbit King for the GameCube.
Okay, best case.
Worst case scenario, it's a total scam and they're just going to take my money, right?
Oh, okay.
And there's various, maybe they don't actually have it and they're just going to refund me. Maybe it's a disc.
Yeah, maybe like GameStop, when you buy the old retro disc games, it's often just a CD in an envelope.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Or maybe it's the PS2 game, which is worth $10 instead of $300. So, but I was like, you know what, $40. Let's just try it. It looked like a reputable place. They had pictures of the store. It didn't look like a scam.
You couldn't call them or email them or.
I think I tried calling them, but it went right to voicemail. But they had an answering machine. Thanks for calling this game store or whatever. And they sold board games and stuff too. It was kind of a variety store.
Okay.
So, and then silence for 2 weeks. No confirmation that they got the order, no shipment confirmation. So I finally email them, and I'm like, hey, I ordered this. What's the deal?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I don't know how I got an email back the same day. Oh, I don't know how I missed it. I actually don't know where this is. Let me go see if I can find it.
Oh, no.
But lo and behold, it wasn't sealed when I got it.
Yeah.
But it looked like it was in almost new condition when I got it, because it's it's pretty pristine.
That is pretty. I can tell you close up it looks
which
really good.
Honestly is kind of the best case scenario, because if it was sealed, then I'd have the dilemma of
you wouldn't want to play it because you'd have to break the seal. Yeah.
Am I gonna sell the seal?
That's the only downside of sealed stuff is because then you look at it and you're like, but I can't break the seal. I have to just look at this game.
I told myself, if it comes sealed, I'm gonna sell it and then keep the money and then use a little bit of that money to buy a used copy.
Yeah.
That's what I told myself. So anyway, I remember for 2 weeks I was with bated breath waiting to hear about what was going to happen, and it was honestly the best case scenario. So very happy to own.
That's cool.
One of my favorite games, Ribbit King.
Well, I think we should play Ribbit King sometime, you and me, on the show.
That
could be a feature.
Really fun.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's the stupidest game.
I love stupid. I am stupid.
The whole story too, the whole animation story leading up to it. That'd be great. We should do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
So that's it, I think.
Well, that is our entire
show and tell.
monthly show and tell. Yeah. Ta-da! Cool.
Yep.
All right,
What's
cool.
next?
Well, thank you for joining us on this section of the show.
Yep.
And we're going to go on now to level 4, which is going to be the boss battle.
I'll get out of here because I don't want any part of that.
Yeah, you don't want
That's
any part
all
of the
you.
boss battle. That's all business, all talk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
No fun. And it is kind of a depressing boss battle too, but I won't make it too bad. But it's about employee turnover, and that's rough, you know.
Bye.
Yeah. Okay. Well, coming up next, level 4, the boss battle. Let's go. And we're back with level 4, the boss battle. So this week in the boss battle, I'd like to talk about employee turnover. Especially in retail and service jobs, people come and go. It's just a fact of life in this line of work. And especially now too, in the post-COVID, world that we live in, there's labor shortages everywhere. It's a constant battle to find and train and hire and retain good employees. It's a real challenge, and luckily for Game Over Video Games, we have it better than most, right? Because if you're working in a fast food restaurant, like employees there, they turn over so fast, like monthly or every couple of months, people quitting. It's a hard job, and people don't give the people that work there credit for just how hard it is to be in that environment day after day. It's really tough. And retail is also very tough. It's very challenging, long hours, nights and weekends. Sometimes customers can be kind of challenging to deal with, and even just employee drama, in the workplace is hard. So especially these days, it's just, it seems like everywhere is hiring, right? And, it doesn't matter kind of how much you offer and, how many signs you put up or ads you put on Indeed or whatever. It's hard to get people to apply, to show up, and to be actually enthusiastic and work hard, in their jobs. But we do have people leave from time to time. It happens, And it's not as often that managers leave, because managers are normally more vested in the company. They tend to stay longer and stuff like that. And it's even more rare that somebody who's above a manager would turn over. But we recently had a situation where the longest serving employee of Game Over is leaving, and so I wanted to mention that on the show, and it also just, of course, gets the wheels turning upstairs on, the concept of employee turnover. So that's what made me think about this for the boss battle today. But so essentially, Tien fan, longtime Game Over employee, 14-year employee, is leaving this week. This is last week. And so we're really sad to see him go. On the one hand, I'd love to keep him here forever. He's amazing and hard worker, dedicated, and he's done so much for this company over those 14 years. But on the other hand, I want him to go off and try new things and have new challenges and stuff like that. And it's great to be committed to a job for so long, but it's also important to branch out and try new stuff. So he's branching out to try some new stuff, and I wish him all the best. He wishes me all the best. It's definitely we're both happy and sad about this new chapter in his life coming up. But he's somebody that's really hard or impossible to replace here. So it's got me just mentally thinking about the changes ahead and what to do to deal with that. And, employee turnover at the stores is a lot easier to replace because, mostly part-time employees, they do come and go, and we're constantly taking resumes, and we can, find people who want to just work in the store easily. But finding people who, want to and are capable of being managers or even district managers, much harder to do. So anyway, but in the overall concept of employee turnover, I thought I would talk on the show about, how to deal with that. So, some of the reasons that we have, generally speaking, a very low turnover relative to other, retail and service jobs, is we try to do all these things. And both myself and Game Over as a whole, certainly not perfect. So I have to put that out there. I don't always say and do the right things. Game Over may not say and do the right things, but we try. We try to be a really good, solid, respectable, honest, transparent leadership type, fun place to work. And so that's really important, I think. Employees see that, they respect that, and they do tend to be more dedicated and stay longer if you run your business that way. So we always try to do that here. You always want to try and reward your employees. It's a good way to keep them coming back. We have benefits and bonus programs for the full-time employees. We pay more than minimum wage and stuff like that. And we try and make it a fun place to work. So everybody has an advantage to working here versus somewhere else. Positive encouragement. Always tell people they're doing a good job. Even if they know they are, and you would think, well, it doesn't need to be said, does it? Yeah, it does. Tell somebody they did a good job today, just because. Because it's one thing when you're getting a review once a year and somebody like a boss tells you you're doing a good job, you kind of expect it on that day. But the other 364 days of the year, it's going to be kind of a surprise if your boss comes along and it's just like, hey, great job today. I really appreciate you, being here and working so hard. So, definitely try and do that. Also try and promote from within. So like in the case of, Tien leaving, we're right now actively looking for some of our store managers that want to get promoted to move up. And as store managers move up, part-timers have, opportunities to move up in the stores and get more hours or potentially move up there. Tien himself started as a part-timer, here at Game Over, worked his way up. I worked my way up for that matter. But yeah, so let's see, other things. As I mentioned, re-examine the roles too. Anytime there's an opening, especially at a manager level or district manager level like Tien, it gives you a chance to kind of reevaluate the whole setup, right? So Tien was just one person, but he did a lot of different things. And so, there's some thought that needs to go into well, should we replace him with another him or replace him with, several people doing maybe different tasks to kind of break that up a little bit. And so that's kind of the route we're going to go. We're going to have kind of multiple people and split up those roles a little bit. So it's a little more manageable and a little, of a different kind of setup than we've had before. But as much as, you hate to lose somebody like that, it wouldn't have necessarily come up to even think about changing, the format of our management structure if it hadn't happened. So sometimes change can seem negative at first, but then ultimately it turns into a positive thing that you had this opportunity to kind of reevaluate and rebuild, the company from within. So anyway, definitely look at the overall position. Do you at any level, at a part-time, assistant manager, if somebody leaves, think, well, do we really need to replace that person? Or do we need more than one person to replace that person? Do we need to maybe reevaluate the roles or the number of payroll hours you get per week for the roles? All that can be done, and it should be done, periodically throughout a business's life cycle. Let's see. Yeah, so change is never easy, but it's always a good opportunity to improve and change things. Let's see. Turning points don't happen very often. But one of the things to keep in mind too with running a business, no matter how great your employees are, how dedicated they are, how many years they've been with you, nobody ever signs up for a job to work forever. I might not be doing this forever. I've done other things before in my life, before Game Over. I will probably be doing something between the Game Over part of my life and my retirement. So, it's, nothing is a commitment for life. Everybody's going to grow and change and move on at some point. So you shouldn't have this, notion in your head that just because things are running well or you have people you like working for you today, that those people will still be there, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years down the road, because things change. So always be, thinking, be mentally prepared for changes, and, always be willing to adapt as needed. Excuse me. How to leave. Leaving on good terms. Very important. Of course, Tien did this because he's an awesome person. But I'm actually going to go more into this on detail on the next show on, how people have left Game Over video games over the years, because we've had quite a few wild kind of, exits from the company. But what you should do is try and be professional about it. We understand as, bosses, as employers or business owners, like I said, an employee's not going to work for you forever. But that doesn't mean that, once you get mad about something or you find some other job you might like better, you don't just walk out. just drop your keys on the table and leave and say, see ya, I'm out of here. You should give a notice. You should go talk to your boss face to face. Don't quit by text or email. That's weak. Don't do that. But talk to your boss. Maybe there's something they can do to change your mind about leaving in the first place. But if not, at least, have the respect and professionalism, like talk to them, say, I'm going to put in my notice, be willing to help find a replacement, to help, work at least a week or two of notice. We require 2 weeks of notice, just because that's the norm to do. And you don't want to ever leave a job just because you're angry about one thing. You can have a bad day at any job, anywhere, anytime. That doesn't mean you just pack up and quit and leave. Because if you do that, you're going to be quitting a lot of jobs. Because every job, you're going to have a crappy day once in a while. You're going to have a disgruntled customer once in a while. You're going to have your boss tell you to do something that you don't like once in a while. So if you just quit every time those things happen, you're just going to go from job to job to job to job. And, you're never going to be able to establish yourself and grow as a person and as a career. So you got to learn to overcome those little things along the way. And plan for the future too. You never know when paths might cross again. Like Dan, my partner on this show. Dan has worked for me how many times? Twice? 3?
It's separate occasions?
Yeah,
I think 4
separate
or 5.
times. Okay, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But but the fact that, he worked for me for a while, left, needed the job again, came back, left, whatever. As long as each time you're not screwing your boss, you give notice. Don't burn bridges. Exactly. If you burn bridges, you never know. I mean, Tien, actually, just to give you this whole circle of life thing, it turns out that Tien, before Game Over, if you want to know what Tien was doing before Game Over, he was an assistant manager at GameStop. And his boss, the manager at GameStop, was my assistant manager at EB Games for what I was doing before Game Over. So
Did you work with my brother ever?
I didn't work with your brother, but your brother was at GameStop, I think, when I was with EB Games. Uh-huh. So it was pre-merger though. So I don't think we ever knew each other.
He was at EB Games though. He wasn't.
Oh, he was EB?
Yeah.
Okay, but I
was
don't.
In Westlake though.
I don't remember working with him. I think
Southgate.
he and I were working at slightly different times, but close. Yeah. But yeah, so you never know. But it's just like that weird kind of circle of life, because I remember him applying to work for Game Over, back, I guess, 14 years ago, and telling me that he came from GameStop and who his boss was, and I'm like, that was your boss? That was my ASM. I trained him, and I take some pride in that. That's what helped Tien to be so good is that he was trained by somebody that I trained. So it's like he was already trained by me before he came in to be trained by me again. So anyway, but funny, funny stuff. And Dan's come back, several times. There was another employee that worked for me at EB, and then came to work for me here at Game Over before, because he needed a job and and whatnot. So you never know. So if you quit in haste, in anger, and you just storm out the door and throw your keys and say, I'm done, and don't give any notice, don't give any warning, don't talk to your boss, in person about it. You burn that bridge, you burn that relationship. And it's not just, well, I don't care about that company, screw them. Because it's more than that. And it's not, well, I don't even like my boss, so I don't care, screw him or her. It's not about that. It's about your peers too, your other coworkers there. Because when you leave, not only are the company and the boss going to be, kind of pissed off and they have to find someone to replace you, but all the other people you work with, now their schedules get changed because they got to fill in for you because you're gone now. And, so if they had something planned for their day off or whatever, they've got to cancel that because they got to come in now and cover the rest of your shifts that are on the schedule. So you got to think about not just the long term and the bridges of well, maybe someday down the road I might want to come back and work for this person, or maybe this person will be somewhere else and I want to work there, and I'll be like, oh crap, that's the guy that I burned at Game Over. I'm not going to be able to get a job now with him at this new place. So you just never know. You don't want to burn bridges. Be professional, be courteous, and not just of the company, but of your boss as a person and of your coworkers, who are all going to be equally kind of screwed when you leave in haste. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that this week. But like I said, I'm going to go into specifics of some of the how people quit Game Over on the next show. So a little preview of that. So I'm gonna have some good stories to tell. But in a nutshell, yeah. So what got me thinking about all this week was Tien leaving, and so officially to Tien and fans of Tien, I think everybody that's worked at Game Over and pretty much any time, because he started in year 3 of Game Over, so pretty much all of Game Over's life he's been here. But Tien, we're gonna miss you, and we love you. We wish you the best in your future. He is obviously leaving on good terms. He can come back anytime. He can get a reference from me anytime. I hope we stay friends and stay in touch. And it's a sad time, but it'll be a new beginning. And so I think starting next week, the search begins for the next district managers at Game Over, and we will grow and expand from there. But yeah, best wishes to Tien, and thank you for all your years of service, and you've been just an amazing person and employee, so thank you. All right, well, before I get too misty-eyed here again, this has been a rough week. Tien and I are very close. But yeah, let's go on to the bonus level and fan feedback, my favorite part of the show. And we're back with the bonus level fan feedback. All of your comments and questions and things, about the show. So I'm going to jump right in. So Larry, good friend. Hey, Larry, how's it going? He said the show was awesome. He loved the hip hop and the break dancing in the video from the performance at Game Over on the last show. He said that looked like so much fun. He was asking when CGF wristbands are going to be on sale, because we actually sell the bands every year in Game Over stores as well as on the Classic Game Fest website, and soon. So coming soon. The bands have been ordered, but everything is still a little slow in shipping. It's better than it was last year, but we're now hoping to get them in April sometime. I don't have a date, but sometime in April, and then we'll get them around to all the Game Over stores, so we'll be selling them there. He's asking how I like my eggs, which I don't know. Maybe I misread that comment. I don't know. But I like scrambled and sunny side up eggs. He loved the Yoda comments at the end, so that's cool. He thinks I should go as Grogu, or as Big Daddy to Grogu for Halloween. I'll be the Big Daddy Grogu, and then I'll have my little boy Grogu. So he says, love you, keep up the great content. And also last week, he mentioned on his comment a Boogerman joke that I didn't read on the show, and he wanted me to read it on the show. So here's his Boogerman joke. So he says, Boogerman, he thinks he's a superhero, but he's not. Hey. Yeah, so.
That was pretty good.
Good one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Other comments. Lotonics says, great show. Curious about opening a store inside Super Mario Land when it opens. We talked about the new Mario Park at Universal Studios, and would that be a good place to put a Game Over store? Dan is looking at me weird.
A store in a theme park?
See, that's the thing, because I was telling him that I think everything in that sphere, in that park, it's going to be all licensed merch where Nintendo gets all the sales. Yeah. They're not going to have a third-party person like me and Game Over selling Nintendo stuff in the Nintendo park, because then a cut of that money would go to me. Yeah, and they don't want that. But I was like, a Game Over video games near Super Mario Land would be cool. So we could have one somewhere across the street in Hollywood from there. We don't have any plans for that right now, just so you know. But being nearby would be good. But being in the park, plus, our business model really thrives on, it's not just that we have cool gaming stuff to sell all the time, cool retro stuff, but we have to be able to buy it too. And nobody's going to come in to, Super Mario Land at Universal Studios with a box load of old games to sell us. So we would never get trades there. So anyway, but yeah, so we need both the buybacks and the sales. But it is a great idea to be close to that park, because it definitely will be attracting Nintendo fans from all over the country to that park when it opens. So it's good idea. Let's see. Favorite Disney princess, Princess Leia. A lot of people forget that's a Disney princess now, right? Dan's saying no.
I guess.
Yeah. That the bikini outfit in Jabba's palace, it's not very Disney-esque, that's for sure. Disney appropriate. But yeah, she's a Disney princess too. So I guess that'd be my favorite because I don't really have a favorite other than that.
Rapunzel.
No, not Rapunzel. Dan's saying Rapunzel.
No, yeah, I'm saying she's my favorite.
Oh, that's your favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
From Tangled, she's the best.
Well, what are the other princesses? What about like Snow White or Frozen? What's Elsa? What about Elsa?
What about her?
She's
not my
cute,
favorite.
I guess. No. All right. Who are some other Disney princesses? What? Jasmine. What about Jasmine? Jasmine's pretty cute.
Jasmine, Ariel.
Oh yeah, Belle. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I've watched a ton of Disney movies like with my kids and never really thought much about like what my favorite princess is.
Yeah.
How can I have lived and not thought what my favorite princess is?
What's the deal?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking that when I was watching the movies, I guess. I don't know.
I think she's my favorite.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. Where was I on here? And he talked about the wallet sale and said his wife bought him a wallet, even though he told her in advance of the sale because he watches the show, so he's cool. And I told him about the sale in advance because I'm cool. And then his wife bought the wallet, but didn't get the discount, even though he and I both knew about it in advance. So I don't know. That's not cool. I mean, I guess it's cool for us because we got more money. We didn't get, lose the money of the discount. But oh well. Yeah, it happens. My wife's like that too. She'll buy me video game related stuff sometimes, and I'll be like, we actually have that like in Game Over stores, and she would have bought it somewhere else because she didn't want me to know, that she bought it for me. So, yeah. What are you gonna do, right? Anyway, let's see. More comments. Amazing video. Keep up the good work. Somebody said thanks for keeping the channel alive. So yeah, it's it's always kind of a struggle to get these shows out. We try and squeeze it into my schedule, which is already normally packed every week. But I do enjoy doing it and being able to communicate and get news and sales info out to you every week. And so I try and like carve that time out of my schedule, but it's not easy. But thank you for appreciating that. So that's it. So I'm sorry it's been kind of a long show this week, but thank you for sticking around till the end. Thank you for your business and support of the Game Over stores, the GameOverVideogames.com website, Classic Game Fest, all of our events and stores. Thanks for watching, listening, subscribing, sharing, commenting. The only way that I have stuff to talk about on the show is when you guys add comments to it. So please find the social media feeds and add comments, the YouTube feed. Add comments, ask questions. What do you want to see me do on the show? What questions do you want to ask? What do you want to know about Game Over or Classic Game Fest or running a business or life or the situation in Ukraine or whatever? We should do a whole show about Chris Rock and Will Smith. Who's your favorite and why? That would be fun. Yeah, who do you pick, Dan? Like whose side are you on here? Are you Team Chris or Team Will?
Team Chris.
Team Chris?
Yeah.
Because he didn't do anything wrong, right?
He said a joke.
Yeah.
Are you going to slap me if I make fun of your beard?
Yes.
No!
That's kind of where I come down too. Like, I guess I'll do a brief thing about that because that's so topical. Like, everybody's talking about that right now. But, like, I like both of them, right? Like, Will Smith and Chris Rock, and I'm sorry, this is going to make the show even a little longer. But, like, they're both amazing people. Huge careers, rich, successful, but when you're a celebrity and you've been a celebrity for years and years, people make jokes. It just happens. I mean, Chris Rock has been on the Oscars probably 10 different times as a host or a presenter or something. Always makes jokes about people sitting in the audience, normally people in the front row, which is normally the big stars like Will Smith, like Meryl Streep or somebody like that, like all these kind of big name celebrities. And of all the stuff that like Jada and Will have like talked about on her show and their personal life and stuff lately, like it seems like a G.I. Jane joke was pretty light compared to the material he could have joked about. But definitely there's no excuse to get up there and smack him. I mean, he could have said something in his acceptance speech. He could have even just said something from sitting in the stands. He could have just yelled out his little thing like, hey, man, leave my wife out of it, without using the F word and without coming up on stage and hitting him. He still could have got his point across that he was upset. But going up there and smacking him, like, dude, there's no place for that. So that's where I come down.
He overshadowed everybody else's hard work.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
He ruined the whole show.
Selfishly.
Yes. It was the only thing people could talk about, and it was negative. Yet when he got his award, standing ovation, at the after parties, was Chris Rock partying down? No. He was probably getting ice and like trying to figure out what the hell just happened. But you know who was partying down that night? Will Smith. He was dancing and shouting in the club and just having a good old time, and got a standing ovation and got to party, and I mean, like nothing ever happened. And like, if that happened to anybody else, what if Kanye jumped up stage and smacked Taylor Swift in the face? Remember when that happened a couple years ago, and it was this huge deal just because he grabbed the microphone and said his little thing like, "Oh, I think Beyonce should have won," or whatever he said. But that was just grabbing the microphone and just voicing an opinion, and that was a huge deal. And the fact that you get up there and actually like physically assault somebody, man, that was just, I don't know. It was so shocking. I mean, it's hard to really comprehend. But on the one hand, I'd say I don't know how he can come back from that. It's like a Mel Gibson thing where it's gonna stain him in his career forever. But now Mel Gibson is starting to come back and do some stuff, and I guess in time Will Smith will do more stuff. But I don't know. It was pretty disgusting that happened. But yeah, I would fall on the side of Chris. Like, it was a pretty innocent joke. Surely he didn't know about the medical condition, because if he did, I assume, I want to believe that he wouldn't have made that kind of joke about the hair. But anyway, yeah. So enough about that. I'm sorry. I digress. But thank you all for watching the show, and thanks for if you don't agree with it, not coming down here and smacking me in the face. Just comment. Just say, I'd like to come smack you in the face, but I won't because I'm respectable. I'm not going to do that and ruin the whole show. But anyway, life is hard. Change is hard. People sometimes don't like you and don't say nice things to you and don't say what you want to hear or do what you want them to do. And that's life. You can't get pissed off and quit. You can't go smack them in the face. You can't just, jump off a bridge or something. I mean, it's just, you have to suck it up and you have to pick yourself up and move on and just get past it. It's something we're all capable of doing, but some people just choose not to. And that's sad. We need to deal with our problems and move on in a positive way. So anyway, stay positive. Enjoy your week. Hope everybody has a great week off or week between shows. And we'll see you next time on the next episode. Game over. Good it is. Good it is.
That's going into you. 100%.
Oh, man. Okay. I'm sorry.
You do it to yourself.
I do. But that's how I know when I'm ready to do the shows, when I get goofy enough that I do some kind of outtake or outtake worthy thing.